Well, if you think about the job, it's one of those worst nightmare scenarios. It's dark, it's cold, it's raining, and a 14-year-old boy has stepped out in the road and been hit by a car and been taken down. He's arrested before our first resources have arrived. A single responder arrived on scene, immediately understood the gravity of the situation, started resuscitation protocols, and began the process. Crews started to arrive. Backup truck arrived immediately after that. So you had 4 additional members of staff, and then the CCP vehicle and local management turned up, obviously, as it's a very emotive, very difficult, very complex scene. The long and short of it is that the 14-year-old boy was unfortunately hit at 30 miles an hour by a car. He didn't see it at all. The driver wasn't speeding, the driver wasn't impaired. It's one of those horrible accidents that has no blame really involved. But he suffered a severe head injury and an injured pelvis. Fortunately, the first man on scene, David Latham, recognised what was going on. The backup crew, which was Jen Hood and Caitlin Scaife, they pitched in straight away under Dave's leadership. The next crew, which is Natalie Spain and Lindsay Reatham, provided additional assistance and worked like a team, worked like clockwork to make this situation as good as it could be. CCP support arrived in the form of Dave Hawkins. Dave Hawkins took an overview of the situation and took command and took control. Richard Harker arrived to control the scene, as a good local officer should. So people were kept away, the relevant people were kept informed, and all medical, clinical interventions were performed flawlessly. So effectively, from a traumatic cardiac arrest, they got ROSC, they got steady blood pressure, they got even some response before loading onto the vehicle. Now, this is where things go well above and beyond. Poor Jen and Caitlin, right at the end of their shift, they realised that this young man had to go to King's in London from the location. We're talking 70 miles at great speed under blue lights, but he wasn't out of the woods. They agreed to meet with Hems. Hems would meet them halfway along the motorway, board the ambulance and carry on. Now, they did so, they got to King's, they got the young man there alive, which was fantastic, bearing in mind the condition that he was in after the accident. And Jen and Kate were happy to be 5.5 hours late home. Now, every single member of the team knew their role, they knew the functions that needed to be performed, they worked step by step, like clockwork, and achieved ROSC against some real difficult circumstances. In the dark, in the cold, in the rain. I've got to say, I'm very proud to be working with people like that. I'm proud to be wearing the same uniform. Working in an area where I live, you often come across jobs involving people that you know. And regrettably, in this situation, it was somebody I knew. I was so glad that my colleagues arrived and worked as hard as they did to attempt to save the young man's life. I was so impressed. People on scene that I know personally have come and found me and mentioned how well they thought things went and how well the staff performed. I'm very, very proud of the fact that they've worked so hard, and I'm so pleased that they're being recognised in this manner. We don't say thank you and well done often enough.